All righty. And then I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
All right. Then now you just let me know how fast you want to go through everything.
Okay. So go ahead. You can start. Move it up. So who are the affidavit mamas? They're not attorneys. They are self-taught. You can go ahead.
Okay.
Scroll right down. So we're going to get into rights, standings, and definitions. Okay. This is important because you got to know on your affidavit, you know, what different words mean so that you know who you are and you know what you're saying and to who. So go ahead. Thank you. Right. Constitutional law, that branch of the public law of a nation or state, which treats of the organization, power, and frame of government, the distribution of political and government authorities and functions, the fundamental principles, which are to regulate the relations of government and citizen, and which prescribes generally the plan and method according to which the public affairs of the nation or state are to be administered. And it's that Department of Science of Law, which treats of constitutions, their establishment, construction, and interpretation, and the validity of legal enactments as tested by the criterion of conformity to the fundamental law. And that's in Black's Law Dictionary. I don't know if any of you have Black's Law Dictionary, probably not, but we do. So if you want to write down the definition, you know, you want to know what that is because it's important to know that. You can do that, but we are recording this. So, I mean, if you can replay it and, you know, get all your definitions because it's really important that you have them.
Now,
Dusty, I have a question. Is it okay if I just screenshot them?
Sure.
Because that's what it's just easier. Then I don't have to write it all down and I've got it right on my phone.
Alyssa, you do whatever you got to do.
Thank you.
Okay. Can we go to the constitutional right, a right guaranteed to the citizens by the Constitution and so guaranteed as to prevent legislative interference therewith. They cannot touch your rights. They can write laws that are within your rights, but they cannot touch your rights. The fact that they've been doing it is what we're going to correct. Okay, let's common law, distinguished from law created by the enactment of legislature. The common law comprises the body of those principles and rules of action relating to the government and the security of persona and property. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think you guys can see that, right? So
Yes, I screenshotted it.
you screenshotted it. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Rosemary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Common law is not judge-made law. We, the people, did that. We know this because it tells us that the judges are recognizing, affirming, and enforcing such uses. I can't even talk. Usages and customs. Statutes are created that outside of the Constitution, but cannot bump up against the Constitution. Common law is what the people create. Common law locks in the government with the constitutional responsibilities, the framework of the Constitution, and the rights of the people, which they cannot infringe on. It cannot be interfered with. Stand on it. Okay. Okay. Common law action governed by common law rather than statutory, equitable, or civil law. Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Common law is the highest level of law. The Republic is a common law land. Legislature cannot, can we make that word a little bit bigger? Not make common law. Okay. So I think, yeah, maybe we should, let them, okay, private person, this is important. The term private person used to refer to persons other than those holding public office or in military services. People, that's us. A state as the people of the state of New York, a nation in its collective and political capacity. The aggregate or mass of individuals who constitute the law. And I don't know, those are case laws, correct, Rosemary?
Yeah.
That's case law. In a more restrictive sense, and as generally used in constitutional law, the entire body of those citizens of a state or nation who are invested with political power for political purposes. So you can also see that. Is that in the 4th edition too, Rosemary?
I'm not sure because I don't have black laws, but I know Dave prefers the older versions versus the new ones.
Right.
Because he said that they've changed a lot of stuff. So if you really want all the information, you should look for an older version.
Right. Okay. We can go to the next.
Took that out, so.
Right. By the way, guys, I can always print this out if anybody needs that. So, but go ahead. We can go to the next one.
Yeah, you want the persons? That's the newest one. We were on people
okay.
before.
Person includes a corporation, company, partnership, firm, association, or society, as well as a natural person. When the word person is used to designate the party whose property may be the subject of a criminal or public office, the term includes the United States, this state, or any territory, state or country, or any political subdivision of this state that may lawfully own any property or a public or private corporation or partnership or association. When the word person is used to designate the violator or offender of any law, it includes corporation, partnership, or any association of persons. And that's actually in that's in your Arizona Constitution, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can go to the next. Here we go, an affidavit. An affidavit, a written or printed declaration or statement of facts made voluntarily and confirmed by the oath or affirmation of the party making it, taken before a person having authority to administer such oath or affirmation. So that's a notary, correct? Affiant, the person who makes and subscribes an affidavit. The word is used in this sense interchangeably with deponent, but the latter term should be reserved as the designation of one who makes a deposition. Deponent, someone who comes in and asks questions, sworn under oath. Affiant is a statement sworn under oath as firsthand knowledge of the information.
No hearsay.
What?
No hearsay.
Right, no hearsay. Dave is hiding, by the way. Okay, let's move. We can go on. Affiant continued. Under the affidavit process, you are declaring what your rights are and reminding the government officials that they swore under oath to never infringe on your rights. They are bound to protect you. You have to put yourself on the line to be held accountable to make the information truthful. What you say must be accurate and true. There has to be an independent party as a witness to what is being said to ensure that affirmation was made by you and is truthful and accurate. Okay. I don't know if there's any questions. Everybody's quiet. Rights, standing, and definitions, certificate, jurid verification. Where the affidavit was sworn to before the officers, what jurisdiction? This is critical. Jurisdiction must say that I hereby declare, certify, and state pursuant to the penalties of perjury under the laws of the United States of America and by the provisions of 28 USC 1746, that all of the above and foregoing representations are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. So if executed within the United States, I declare or certify, verify, or state under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct, and then executed on the date and then signature. If executed within the United States, meaning DC, its territories, possessions, or commonwealths, I declare or certify, verify, or state under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct, executed on and then date and signature. So you want to go with, most people want to go with the United States of America. You don't want to go within DC. Okay. The next one. 28 USC 1746, wherever under any law of the United States or under any rule, regulation, order, or requirement made pursuant to law, any matter is required or permitted to be supported, evidenced, established, or proven by the sworn declaration, verification, certificate, statement, oath, or affidavit in writing of the person making the same, other than a deposition or an oath of office, or an oath required to be taken before a specified official, other than a notary public. Such matter may with like force and effect be supported, evidenced, established, or proved by the unsworn declaration, certificate, verification, or statement in writing of such person, which is subscribed by him as true under penalty of perjury and dated is substantially the following form. Okay, what's next? Okay, this is Arizona Constitution, but we can find New York State Constitution at Ballotpedia, that which is also up at the top. That's where you can find New York State Constitution and also the Bill of Rights. So Article 2, Section 1, text, fundamental principles recurrence to. A frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights and the I can't even say that. Say it, Rosemary. Perpetuity of free government. Yeah, okay, laugh at me. I can't speak. So if you want the government to support freedom, we reserve the right to frequently go back to fundamentals of law so that they do not make a mistake and limit your rights. It's really important. And I tell everybody, because New York State Constitution doesn't look like this, I tell everybody to check out all the other state constitutions, because that's where you're going to see where we have a right to do this stuff. In all 50 states
Bill of Rights,
are actually what?
the Bill of Rights.
Yep, the Bill of Rights, to the Bill of Rights, to actually see all what we have in common in all 50 states as rights. Article 2, Section 2, political power. All political power is inherent in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. So we are saying that this is what my rights are that you swore to uphold in the state constitution already. If you did not swear to this, I need you to tell me and respond within 3, 5, whatever days. If you did not swear to this, I need for you to show me where you got the power to go against these rights that I am showing you now. Okay, what's next? The supreme law of the land. Supreme law of the land. Everybody's seeing this, right? Hello, where's everybody?
Yes, and next,
Supreme law of the land authority to exercise sovereign authority against federal action, use of government personnel and financial resources. The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land to which all government, state, and federal is subject. To protect the people's freedom and to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, this state may exercise its sovereign authority, there's that word sovereign, authority to restrict the actions of its personnel and the use of its financial resources to purposes that are consistent with the Constitution by doing any of the following. So, passing an initiative or referendum pursuant to Article, I don't know what that number is. I don't know number.
Or
Okay. Part 1, Section 1, passing a bill pursuant to Article 4, Part 2, and Article 5,
mhm.
Section 7, pursuing any other available legal remedy. Okay. What's next? So, Supreme law of the land authority to exercise sovereign authority against federal action, use of government, personal and financial resources. So if the people or their representatives exercise their authority pursuant to this section, this state and all political subdivisions of this state are prohibited from using any personnel or financial resources to enforce, administer, or cooperate with the designated federal action or program. The people have individual rights that cannot be restricted. Are you a person / personnel who can be restricted, or are you one of the people who they are bound by oath to protect your individual rights? So who are you?
you got your mics off.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Mics are off.
You should.
Yes,
be-
I'm trying to invite more people.
Okay, you should be one of the people.
That's right. Is this the next one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The right of petition and of people peaceably to assemble for the common good shall never be abridged. Persons / personnel are the servants or trustees, and therefore they can be restricted, but you cannot be restricted as the people. Woohoo, we're free. You become the people when someone infringes on your individual rights. So how many more definitions do we have?
One
So-
more after this page.
I think, do you think we can,
Wow.
well, I think we could probably go past this and,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
did everybody?
Yeah,
Because
right.
Alyssa was
They get the
taking
you get the-
screenshots, so I
right.
just want to make sure she had time to do that.
right.
Listen, we can make a copy of the one we got. You can just give you guys one.
right.
Okay, because
Well-
what's good with the screenshots is I can actually make a post out on certain things if you guys want, and let
Okay,
people know what we're doing.
Right.
this works.
So there's actually more stuff that you want to get a screenshot of the actual affidavits, which this is what it's leading up to.
Okay, can I
So-
screenshot these real quick?
Yeah,
Yep.
which ones
go
do you
ahead.
want? Which ones do you want back up?
I screenshotted from there up, so
Okay,
it would be from the affidavit one down that I don't have screenshotted yet.
Well, you're quick.
okay.
I know.
so- All right, so then this one,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So step 1, this is notices.
Okay, so
Oh.
that I screenshotted, so
Yep, give the individual a notice letting them know they are violating your or your child's constitutional right. The notice is to give them a warning and educate them of the violation. This is the chance to mend the relationship and seek resolution. If they continue to infringe upon your constitutional rights, and they are not willing to remedy the issue, move to the next step in the affidavit process.
So I have a question on that. So remember when we handed in our affidavits and the school has yet to contact us back? Like, what would be, like, I mean, I feel like they think we're a joke or something.
Well, we just,
Keep
pulled
poking
that,
the bear.
right, we pulled affidavits and we actually got them from Affidavit Mama's website for the school board. And
Yep.
now what we have to do is we have to just serve them again.
Keep poking the bear. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So,
change them up just a little bit so that maybe they're not always saying the same thing. You can
Right.
change the amount at the end. Say if we started at 30,000, you can go to 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 as you keep serving them. And you don't want a response. So once you've served them with an affidavit, you don't want them to send anything back to you, because if they do, then they have to do it exactly how you laid it out in your affidavit. They actually have to put it point by point and
right,
explain to you why they feel they have the right to do what they're doing and go
Right.
against what you pointed out to them. So if they don't lay it out in that format and send it back to you exactly as an affidavit, signed and notarized and all of that, then it's just basically crap. So
right,
that's the reason why you don't want to have anything come back to you, because then what you have stated to them after they run out of that time frame, 3 days, 5 days, whatever you've given them, then it becomes true. And they are agreeing with what you said. So then if they break it and they go against then what you said, then then you actually have even more firepower against them. So go ahead.
Okay. So on that note, my friend who also handed in an affidavit at the same time at that board meeting, she then messaged the superintendent explaining that she was sending her kids back and they were not wearing masks, and he would not email her back. He called her like a few times during that day and left voicemails on her phone stating that I'm the superintendent and I'm with all the principals from elementary, middle school, high school, and we would like to discuss something with you, and we would like for you to call us back. And just so you know, if you send your kids, they have to still wear the masks.
Well, technically they don't, because
Correct.
it's not a law.
Correct.
And second of all, he didn't respond in writing, is what you asked him to do.
Exactly.
And she should not respond. She should just serve him again.
Okay.
Yeah.
She did not respond
Right.
in a message. I said, do not write him back.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Right.
yeah, we had another girl that also got a letter and she asked me what to do, and I said, don't, did they respond the way that you said in the affidavit for them to respond? And she said, no. And I said, then that's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
They have to respond back to you the way that you, exactly what you said in the affidavit.
I mean, they're not even letting our kids take mask breaks. Like they stated. I had kids here the other night, last night, that were explaining to me, they said they don't even, anytime we go to pull our mask down just to take a breath, they're getting threatened with detention and suspension.
Yeah.
That's psychological abuse. I don't care who you are. That's
So
terrible.
then in your next affidavit, I would state that. I would actually put that
Yes.
in there, that they do not have the right to, enforce your child to have to wear the mask without breaks, and that they can't send them or detention or any of those things because they're not breaking any kind of law. So I
Right,
would
and
put that in your next affidavit and serve them again.
Okay.
The
Because
what-
to me, I feel like that's harassment towards these children. I mean,
Yes.
they don't let children, or they don't let parents in the schools anymore or anything. So like, they have your children.
What
scary.
what can be done if you're a parent and your kid's in school and refuses to wear a mask and they say there's suspending them, or what can we do then?
Well, here, at least in Arizona, we push for parents to either find another school or take their kids out and homeschool them. I know that that's not a very easy option for most parents because they've got to work. But they are breaking the law, and they are not holding up the New York state constitution. I would still enforce it, because the only other thing that you could possibly do is, if you know a sheriff in your area that likes the Constitution, that believes in the Constitution, have the sheriff get involved and actually start serving him, because there will be even more power behind it. They literally think that you guys are stupid. Okay.
They do.
And that
And we
you don't have any idea of what you're doing. Plus, they've got lawyers in their corner that's telling them, oh, don't believe in what they're saying. They don't even know what they're doing. You don't have to do anything. It's just nonsense. But they're literally setting themselves up to fail, because by not responding in the way that they're supposed to, by not doing and following the Constitution as you've laid it out, you're building a case. And this case is what you would take to the grand jury. And that there then proves your point. So when you get the grand juries back into the people's hands, and you can then take them in front of a grand jury of your peers, which means people that you know. So this could be, you could literally go into a grand jury with 25 of your favorite friends, and they can be your jury for you. And you could submit your information saying, here's all my affidavits that I've given them, and I've laid out the Constitution for them, and they've not responded in the manner that they were supposed to, and they've broken every single law according to the Constitution. And these were the amounts of money that I stated in my affidavits. And then your peers, moms and other people that you would pick, they would then rule probably in your favor, because they would feel exactly as you do, or they would understand what you're going through. And then you would be then awarded, not only for them to have to follow the Constitution and the law of your state, but also that amount of money that you have stated in your affidavit.
Okay, so if the child is in school, do you suggest like having the child, if they're telling them they have to leave, obviously going to suspend them or whatever, should that child call the sheriff's office?
If they're old enough to, otherwise a parent.
Or the parent?
Yeah, but technically, what are they suspending them for?
Like
Ask
not wearing the
them.
mask.
Right, but why? So ask them, explain to me why you're suspending my child. Are you suspending my child over the mask, or is there another reason? Has
Okay.
my child threatened or interfered with somebody else in any kind of way? So use that to your advantage. Try and pull out and make them explain exactly why your child is being suspended. Catch it on video and then blast it out. Because
Okay.
if you can get this information out to the public, as you can see from other people who've gone to their school boards or put things out, there's more strength in numbers. And that's what you want, is you want the other parents in that school to understand what's being said or done. We've had some people that have served their schools and their school boards directly, and their child then is not enforced where other people's children are. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like one of my friends, she said her child will not be wearing a mask, and this, that, and the other thing. And they said, okay, your child doesn't have to, but now everybody else in their class does. So that's what I'm saying. They're just really being stupid. They're hanging themselves is what they're doing. And that's what you want, is you want all this recorded, and you want all of this data, and you want all of this information, so that you can then, use that against them later.
So you want to get
Okay.
that in an email or something, right? Or a text message?
You want everything done through, stuff that you can copy, stuff that, no phone calls. You don't want to talk to anybody over the phone. You want emails, you want letters, you want that kind of communication. But anything that they send you that is in a letter form and not back in an affidavit form is basically, it's garbage. I mean, you want to hold on to it because you need to show that this is how that they responded, but you asked them to respond in a certain way and they did not. But basically, a notice, we have gotten some letters back from, but never an affidavit, not one. And we've sent out hundreds.
Now, I tweaked the one that you have for the schools for New York. Doesn't it have, I believe it has something in there about the mask as far as being suspended in it, does it not?
It does have it. Not being suspended, but separated or segregated or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
So that would work.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
have the money though, to 500,000.
And then we could also add what Rosemary said, to add if there, anything else that they're doing, that goes against the child's rights or the parent's rights, we can add to it.
And that includes the segregation, because technically they are segregating your child if they suspend them,
Yes.
or if they send them home, or if they put them in another classroom, or make them sit on the other side of the class and not participate with the others. So that is all inclusive in segregation.
Right. So this is, the next step is, to build your affidavit, notice and demand, affidavit of maladministration, legal notice and warning. And it shows you, I'll let you guys screenshot this because it's going to tell you, who you're going to send it to, the title and the address. This is at the top of the affidavit. And I think I've already showed Alyssa and Renat. I've taught them that.
They've seen the class.
Right. They've seen this. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can move on, but Mike Carey has it. Okay, step 2, build your affidavit. Establish yourself as one of the people, because you are the affiant. And sui juris indicates that you are coming on your own. One of the people. As seen, we're going to put New York State, and they already know that too. Sui juris in this court of record, being trustees of the people, must provide due care and remember your oath which binds you. And I, the affiant, make the following statements and claims. So what's next? Okay. Build your affidavit, your case, job description of the district school board. And we've, researched all of that, the job description and also the oaths, their oaths. And those can be put in the affidavit also. The school board exists to oversee the activities of the school system, ensuring the students may have the best possible experience and outcome. The school board exists to establish important policies and make sure that they are implemented properly. They're also supposed to give you, make sure that child has a basic education, and according to the Constitution. That's what the New York State one, the association, the board association says. So I put that in there. I actually put that in there. There, what they are supposed to do. So as elected officials, you have sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of New York. You swore to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. These are some things that you can say in there. And then, I mean, if you have another way of saying it, this is showing you what, how to build your affidavit. Affiant wishes for you to show in your job description or in your oath where you were given authority or where you agreed to implement racial material that is diametrically opposed to the will of those who elected you. Affiant wishes for you to show in your job description where it indicates that you were to incorporate subversive, harmful to children materials that pit one race against another, in the schools in New York, because that's what they're doing. Affiant wishes for you to show in your job description where you are encouraged or allowed to change standards or add competencies that oppose the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States or the following portions of, should they have Arizona, but we're going to put New York Constitution. So this is where you're going to go and you're going to look up your stuff in the state, in our state constitution. And we're going to put, but we can actually use, we can use the parts of the other states' constitutions if ours doesn't, and I know ours doesn't, it doesn't show this. So, I mean, it says rights secured, and we can actually, I mean, we could actually use that, but we can also reference the other state constitutions. Yeah, affiant comes as one of the people from which your power is derived, your oath to office affirms, and I would put that in there. I would make sure that these people know exactly where we're coming from. Your oath to office affirms that your main purpose is to protect and maintain my individual rights by upholding the Constitution. This includes the rights of my heritage, those in my care, my children. Affidavit is being, this is actually in the one that we, the affidavit that we took from your site. So we actually do, we redid it for New York. We've just got to get people to sign it and send it in. So we are going to have a signing party so that we can do that. So, okay, next one. So, establish a time expectation, financial responsibility, and arbitration clause. It now deals with commerce and contract terms, because that's what you're doing. You're making a contract. So it deals with commerce, is exactly what David Jose said. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under penalty of perjury in the form of a sworn affidavit. So you're telling them that you're giving them the directions of how you want to be answered back, and they have to go by this contract. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $100,000. And any
put a 500,000.
and any disputes by any public officials. Yeah, we need to get back all the money that they gave them for the yeah. Any disputes by any public officials or private actors who are bound by contract to the New York State Constitution agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice. And you already explained that, right, Rosemary?
Mhm.
About the arbitration?
Well, not specifically about that part, but about the grand jury. Hopefully that's where it's going to go.
Right.
But you can use an arbitrator. But Dave is actually, because of the grand jury, he's actually trying to go that route so that
Right.
we can actually get all of that back into our hands. But you at least have to let them know what, your intentions are. So that's
Right.
why that's in there.
Yeah, any man or woman denying these claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 3 days. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence, you agree that all claims are true. So, when, like she said before, if they don't answer you, that's kind of, it's actually better. So, right. Is this the next one? Okay.
Mhm.
And then at the end, now this is the notice, right? Is this the notice or
This
the
is your
affidavit?
verification. Yeah.
Okay.
And this must be on there.
Right. Yep, this is another, I hereby declare, certify, and state pursuant to the penalties of perjury under the laws of the United States of America and by the provisions of 28 USC 1746, that all of the above and foregoing representations are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. Executed in, and then the month, the year, and the year of our Lord, and I love that part right there. And then your autograph. And then this is all of this right here is where the notary signs, correct?
Mhm. Yes,
Right.
yes, sorry, yes.
Are you seeing that, everybody? This part of which is on actually at the end of the affidavit. The other thing is, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It has to be on business, the 8.5 by 14
Yes, legal size paper.
legal size paper. Okay, what's next? Yep. You print the affidavit on legal size paper. Affidavit must be notarized. Make copies for each person on the CC list. That's what I was going to talk to you about, is the CC list. Can you
Okay.
explain that for us?
Yes, so say you only want to do your particular school board and superintendent, and then maybe you want to send it to your governor, okay? Each one of those people would get a copy. Now, when we did it though, we served our legislature as well. So in order to keep the price down for us, but yet get it out there, because we sent it to the Senate, I'm sorry, and the House of House of Representatives, sorry. And we put on there, so ours is Karen Fan, everybody's now learned her name. So it's Karen Fan and all Senate members.
Right.
That means from the very beginning of the presentation, she's then responsible to make sure that everybody in the Senate then gets a copy. So that cuts down on that. You don't have to send it to every single one of them or include it in the packet. As same thing for the House. You need to just put your, ours is Rusty Bauer and all House representatives. And then that way he's then responsible, because you have 2 House representatives per every district. So your amount of people could be very large. It could be a couple hundred.
Right.
And then you have 1 senator for every district.
So
And that's,
so
go
the
ahead.
people on the CC list are the ones that they're going to send the copies to. Is that correct?
Because that's what it states in the very beginning, that first part where it talks about notice to agent is notice from, I always get it mixed up, but that right there, that statement means that they are responsible. Now, if you want to also go, because some people don't know, and this is why you're educating them, you can put in a cover letter, and that cover letter then explains that first statement, saying, I'm sending this to you, but this statement right here, this very first line, means that you are responsible then to get it out to everybody else. So
Right.
that goes the same thing with your superintendent and your school board. Your superintendent should get his own copy, and then your president of your school board should get theirs. And then that president should give it out to all other school board members. So you want to say, Patricia Snow and all school board members, or all board members. And then she's responsible then to send it out to the 4, 5, 6, whatever, however many other people you have on your board, a copy of it.
Okay, so I have a question with that. So when I went to go serve the superintendent, he looked at me, he said, I don't get those, he does. And he pointed to the president of the board.
Okay. And we've had that
Like
happen
he
too.
refused, yeah, like he refused to take it.
Right. But that's why you videotape it,
Yeah.
showing you serving them, even if it's to say they have a secretary sitting there, or say they have another person with some legalness to them, like a sheriff or whatever, who receives their documentation. You're recording it, showing that they've received it, and it should have their name on it. So if his name is Joe Blow, okay, it should say his name on the affidavit, whether he hand received it, or the board received it, or their secretary of the board received it, it still has his name on it. And because you videotaped it, then you have proof that they were served.
Right.
Now, as far as like the sheriff goes, when you CC for the sheriff, do they give them to the sheriff or?
Yes, we have. We have given him to and sent them. So like our great grand sheriff, Penzone, he's received them, but we've also sent them out to other sheriffs in all of our counties. So it wasn't just him. We sent it out to all the main people that were sheriffs in all the different counties. So it's in, we've sent it out to every mayor. We've sent it out to every congressperson. We've sent them out, you know, so some of them have different addresses. So make sure that, you know, they each get their own with their name on it. And that's the reason why you have the certified mail. If you look down just a little further, it says the certified mail with
Right.
the return receipt, because then whoever signed for that, whoever took that for them, their secretary in their office or whatever, that is your proof that they received it, whether they got it in their hand specifically or whether their secretary or somebody else in their office took it.
Right.
So then you would just take the person's name on the CC list, move it to the top where it says the 2. And then what we've kind of come up with, which really makes it easy, is take your original copy, but leave the 2-part blank and make all your copies for whoever you're going to send it out to that's on your CC'd list. We've then made labels, which are legal. So address labels. And then we just put the address label over the where it says the 2-part. So it makes it easy that way. So because or you can actually make multiple copies on your computer and print them out with each one of their names on it. But then you don't want to have to sit there and have each one of those notarized, because it takes a very long time. So you can just take the one copy of your notary and make that copy and then attach it to all of the ones that you're sending out. So we're trying to save you time. We're trying to save you money. We're trying to save you, you know, steps to make this process go a little bit faster for you, so that it's not so overwhelming. Learn from our mistakes, basically, is what we're trying to do for you guys. Learn, you know, because I've spent hours just last week, hours upon hours of handwriting in
Ouch.
names and addresses. And I'm like, guys, we have to change this up. We're talking thousands and thousands of affidavits here. I just can't keep doing this. So we asked a notary, and the notary said that yes, labels are okay to do. So then we just have a sheet of labels, and we just addressed every single one of them with a label, and it was so much faster to get them all out.
That's a really good idea, Dusty. We should figure
Yeah.
out how to get labels.
Yep, definitely.
I'll have to check. I think my printer might do labels.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll have to look at it and see.
I can do some as well. I actually
And-
have some here.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted, you know, to make sure that we put together a team so everybody is, you know, whatever your talents are, and we get together and we stay connected on this, and, you know, everybody can do something, and then it'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I feel like if we're prepared with like labels and things like that before we do the signing, I think it's going to make things easier. And yeah.
Yes.
So just remember, when you do your signing, this will be the fastest, easiest way for you. You have the person leave the 2 open, put their information from in, have them put their name on the first line, have them
Right.
fill out everything else, and then get the notification from the notary. Okay. Take that set, that one group of papers from them, go make all the copies off for whoever you're going to send it out to, and then just attach a label to the top. Keep the original. Okay.
Right.
because you can keep it for the person and then just notify the person if they have to go to court with you, if it goes that far. Or you can address it and send it back to them, but you should always try and keep a copy. Whomever you're designating to kind of be that person, keep a copy. Because that person could lose their copy, or that person, might not receive it in the mail or whatever. So you guys determine the way you want to do that. We decided we would keep them for everybody and then notify them if we needed to go to court with us.
Right.
So then that way you've got only one that you have to worry about from each person, but you could make 20 copies of that one and
Right.
mail and send it out to 20 people.
Right.
Okay. And then that's going to save you time at your notary, because your notary is not going to want to sit there and do 20 copies for one person and 20 copies for the next person. So it makes the line go faster. It makes everybody moving and getting it done. And most of the times, people are like, yeah, sure, keep it. What do I need it for? And then you can just let them know, these are the people that we're going to send it out to. You can even show them, make up a little cover sheet that says, here's all the people that will be receiving your affidavit from you. That way, so there's all kinds of little things that we've done that, and then what we did was when we made the copies, we, if I go to FedEx, they give you a box. And then I've just labeled all those originals and kept all those separate from all the rest. And then of course, when you put all your packets together, you'll have, how, if you've got 20 people on your CC'd list, then you'll have 20 different things that you're mailing into if you're walking them in. But if you go and make your copies at FedEx or something like that, and they have those little boxes for you, they're easier to carry around.
Yeah.
So if you're going to hand walk them into somebody, then you can hand walk them in and hand them a whole box. So, there's a lot of different little things that you can do.
Mhm.
Any other questions about that particular part that you want answered?
You were talking about just the notary part where the notary signs.
Which is right here.
Okay, so it doesn't matter even if the date is filled in there, you can still keep them?
Yeah, what you want to do is, so right here you see where it has on this day of October and before me, and then that would be the notary part. Okay. You want to make sure that you get them out within a certain amount of time from you doing your signings. So say within a week or 2 weeks max, you want to make sure that all of these affidavits get sent out. Okay.
Okay,
You're keeping a copy of that, or you're keeping the original if the person isn't wanting their copy back. But it's dated as to when you did your event and where, and it gives you that notification of, okay, how long ago was this particular one done? It doesn't matter after you send it out. It just matters
Okay.
the length of time of how long you keep it in your possession before you send them out. You want to
Okay.
send them out as soon as possible.
okay.
This is just some of the
Right. This is
information.
information though. And when I did the classes before, that was one of the things that I had people do. I said, you have a pen and paper, please write down these websites, because you can go to Affidavit Mama's websites. You can look through all of the affidavits and notices. There's directions on how to do them. There's different information that you can get, and you can even contact them yourself if you need help. So yeah, and the Founder's Bible, oh my gosh, that's awesome. We printed that out, what you had on the site, because it's really awesome, really awesome. So good
Okay.
information. Yes.
So basically, we're at questions. Does anybody have any other questions or anything that they're not sure about at this point?
So you were saying, Rosemary, okay, with the sending them out, okay, and doing it within a certain amount of time, and keeping copies, because you're gonna make copies and send them out again. So the date on them doesn't matter.
No, what I meant by what was, okay, so you're gonna have your first signing, and then
Right.
those are all gonna be dated from that. And then you
Right.
probably will have another signing, and then you'll keep copies from that one and send those ones out.
Okay, so every time you have a signing, you're gonna keep copies, and the copies can't be resent?
They should not.
Okay,
So once you've sent them out, you either design another one or you prepare another one, and then you do another signing due to whatever you're hearing or whatever information you're getting back. And
Okay.
each one should be slightly different, whether it's just a wording or you add something or take it away. So when we sent out our very first ones to the school board, now the school boards and that did not go along with anything we said. But that's why we also sent it out to the legislature, and we sent it out to the governor, and we sent it out to the main person of all of our school superintendents. And then that's when our Governor Ducey had said, no, we're not going to make it mandatory that kids have to be masked or be quarantined or be vaccinated. And so he made a law. Well, then the Democrats got mad, okay, that he made this law, not making it mandatory. And they took it to court. And the court judged that more than likely that they paid off or found that was in their pocket or whatever, said, oh, well, this isn't, how are you going to mandate this? You can't, there's no way to enforce this. So we say it's null and void. It doesn't even matter. Well, now the other people are saying, no, it is. And they're taking it to the Supreme Court. But we also sent in another affidavit, and we're asking him to figure out a way to enforce it. So whether it's taking the money away from the schools, the school boards,
right.
you got to hit them where it hurts, and it's the money.
Yes.
They don't care about anything else. Okay,
No,
so it's the money aspect.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Yep.
If they know that they are going to be deducted if they enforce something like that, then they're going to think twice about implementing those kinds of policies. So here again, learn from our mistake. We did not ask for that enforcement to begin with. So now we've got to go back and we've got to do that again. So when you write yours out, and if you send it to the governor, maybe put something in there with reinforcement or with some kind of penalty to the schools or the school boards or whomever you're inquiring or making your affidavit about. They have repercussions for not following what is going on. Yeah, I mean, you've got it stated in there that if you go to somebody to use court-wise, that they have to pay for those expenses, and that you get to choose the person that you want to be the arbitrator. That's the reason why you start out with 30,000 or 50,000 or whatever. But you also want it, like, if you can get somebody in the legislature to be on your side, then you want them, because they're the ones that write the laws, and then the governor is the one that just signs it. You want them to put in there that there will be repercussions if these things are broken, or if they do not follow these particular new legislation that is being put out to them. So make sure that you're ready for something else to be said, or something else to maybe come back, where they're going to fight it, because New York, I'm sorry, it's very corrupt. And
Yes.
I hope you can find at
Yes,
least
it is.
one person, to get on your side and fight for you, and see that this stuff is not, appropriate to do for children or people in general.
We have a great sheriff. I can honestly say our sheriff Carpinelli, he backs us up so much.
And I would make sure he gets a copy of every single one. And it's not, you're
Okay.
not necessarily saying he's the problem.
Right.
You're letting him know who else is receiving this and what the problem is. So
Okay.
it's not like you're going to go after him.
Right.
You are just letting him know, and you can even put a cover letter on his saying, this is just to make you aware of what we are doing. This is just to notify you that these people are getting this. We don't think that you're headed in this direction, but if you choose to, you're now on the list as well. But if he's going to side with you, if he's going to help you in any way, shape, or form, it would be, you know, he's going to be the one. Your sheriffs are the one, not
Yes.
your police force, not anybody
No.
else. The sheriffs are the ones that needs to hold true to your
Mike
Constitution.
Mike Carpinelli is Lewis County Sheriff, and that's where these ladies are from, is Lewis County, which is where I grew up. And he is running for governor. And he also was at that school board meeting that we were at, and he was awesome because he told them, he said, if you think that you're gonna call me because a kid isn't wearing their mask, you better think again, because you're not going by the Constitution. I mean, he stood right up to them. So
And
He
he
does.
has said he's a constitutional sheriff.
There
Yes.
you go. And that's who you need to get in on your side.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that everybody understands he's the one to vote for.
yeah,
So that's the other thing. You need to blast it out that, you know, he's for your children. He's going to be the best governor because he's going to protect the people. You know, whatever you need to do, your voice is getting out there is also going to get him more on your side because you're going to help him win.
right.
Correct.
So, you know, get him in your corner, get him, you know, following everything with you. And, you know, like I said, just let him know that you're showing him what is being sent out so that he's aware of it. This doesn't necessarily pertain to him. You're just including him in the information. Okay.
And now I have another question.
Mhm.
There was a survey that was handed out in the newsletters to parents,
Mhm.
and I did message Sheriff Carpinelli and I did show him this survey that was completely unlawful that they're asking K through 12. And he said that he would get back to me, but is this something that you could also incorporate in an affidavit? I mean, there are so many corrupt and inappropriate things going on in our districts in New York State. You would be appalled if you heard what they were. I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, some of the things are just disgusting. I mean, these kids are even saying, how is it that us kids know that this is wrong, but the adults are okay with it? Like, you know, as far as like, you know, anybody adult wise that works in the districts. I mean, it's just, me and Dusty are puzzled. I mean, Nat, I'm sure you're puzzled. I mean, the things, I mean, asking religious affiliations, I mean, asking their sexual behaviors, I mean, just inappropriate things.
Because they're trying to get the information from people. They want to
Yep.
get inside your house, and they're dehumanizing the kids. They're sexualizing the kids. And we're seeing it right in front of our faces.
Oh, it's bad, but I feel like in some of these parents are laughing at this, and I don't think this is funny.
Right.
Like it's very hard because, you know, you see yourself kind of, you know,
Melissa, what was
distancing away
it?
from people.
Was it your school that had the poster on the
Yes.
bathroom wall?
Yep.
It wasn't, it's
Instead,
not just, it's
instead
not
of
just South
vaping,
Florida.
try masturbation?
Yes, and it's not just ours. I thought maybe it was like a high schooler playing a prank. And then I asked my son's girlfriend, and she said, no, she said it's in Adirondack too, so which means it's in all the high schools.
Oh dear.
Well, here's the thing too. South
Do we
Louis
know
High-
who that's coming from though?
South Louis
It's got
High
to be
School
coming
isn't
from, it's got to be coming from, I mean, it's got to be coming from the system itself, I'd imagine,
like-
right?
Like Mountain View Prevention or something?
I have no idea. That's why I said, I mean, I asked my son's girlfriend to maybe ask some questions, figure out maybe who was posting them. I don't know, but I mean, I can't even believe that this is going on.
Well, I would, maybe if you can get a snapshot of those particular
I have them.
posters. Okay.
I have them.
Say on the
Yeah.
lower part of the poster, maybe who printed it or who did it. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I don't think there's anything.
what
I know
you-
the survey states that it's a third party. And when I asked the board and I asked the superintendent about this survey, none of them responded to me. And the superintendent, I had to ask him to stop doodling on his paper and please pay attention to what I had to say, because these are our children in the district. Like, this is a K through 12. How are you going to ask a kindergarten what their sexual behavior is? Like,
Yeah.
that's completely inappropriate. I mean, it's inappropriate for all ages. These are minors you're asking these questions to.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
in
didn't,
sorry, go ahead, Nat.
so I didn't notice this before, but it does say public health on it. Did you notice that?
For the survey?
Yeah, no, for the nicotine one with the vaping, it says tobacco at public health.
So we serve them a notice because that's inappropriate. It's abusive.
I don't know if you can see it, Rosemary, but here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would serve them. But what you need to do is see if you can also get a meeting with the sheriff.
Okay.
A lot of times they want to, the people to reach out to them. If you can set a meeting and you can bring all this information up to him and show him what's going on and make him aware, because maybe he doesn't have kids in these particular schools, or maybe
Well,
ahead.
yeah, I did do that. I did. I sent him a text message, and I sent him the survey, and I sent him the inappropriate bathroom, the bathroom paper that's on the bathrooms. I sent him all of that.
Okay.
And he's obviously working to be governor, so he's a pretty busy man, but I know that he'll take that time out and he would sit with us to discuss it. I know he would.
So yeah, that would be my next move, because we've done that with our legislature as well. We've reached out to them. We've asked them to have, personal one-on-ones with our group and stuff like that. So what you want to do is that's part of that education. You're educating yourself, obviously, but if they're not aware because they're not in the school, in the bathroom, or seeing that, then they need to be made aware of that. And you're just letting them know. So
Right.
that would be another way for you guys to go, is try and find a legislature on your side, get your sheriff on your side, and show them what's going on. Because like I said, if they're not walking through the schools seeing it, they don't know what you parents are going through or what your children are going through, and they need to be made aware of all of these things. And these are going to be definite ways to educate them, the legislature, sheriffs, whomever, on what is going on and what's inappropriate, obviously. And you did see some of the different videos, I'm sure, that have been going around where parents are literally showing them the books that they're finding in the
Yes.
school libraries, and how it's it's porn. You
Yes.
Yeah.
can go to jail for this. Hello.
Yes.
So use those things to your advantage in your affidavits too,
Yes.
and point it out that any pornography in the school libraries and all of that needs to go. Or use these things that have been going on and see what else you can find out. I know that they're not letting parents in the schools very much, but
And
if you
I
can,
think that that's the biggest struggle, is you have the school systems that have pretty much locked their doors and locked parents out that can't come and visit their children or come walk through the schools. And so we don't know what's going on inside of the schools. And then I don't know. It's absolutely baffling to me that this is even going on.
well, they've done it in such a slow pattern
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it just was one little thing after one little thing, and then they used this whole COVID crap to finalize their move and say, oh, well, parents could bring it into the children and it could be spread all over the place. you know, and just all these different things that they're doing in order to keep the parents out so that they have
Yes.
more, you know, control.
Yep.
But be aware too, and be careful if they ask for you to send extra clothing to the schools, or if they say that they need more medications than what, you know, if your child has to take some certain medications, because they've even stated here that they have authority to lock your child down while in school. And once they get your child locked down, they have full control over what they will do to your child. And if they have an ability to get the vaccinations on the school campus, they can vaccinate your child without your knowledge, period. And
I keep stressing to parents, I know that it's hard to pull your kids. I get it. I get that it's hard. I mean, it could be a scary thing. I get that people have to work still, but I'm trying to voice how important it is to pull your children out of public
I've been
school
saying
right
that
now.
for months. I've
Yep.
been saying it for months. People pull your children out of school, and my grandkids are in school. I'm terrified that they're gonna do, we have a 9, 12, 14, and my 18-year-old grandson, who was sent home, by the way, because he was exposed to C-19. And there was 20 kids that were sent home. So I was on the phone for 2.5 hours with the assistant superintendent, and he lied to me about everything.
Yeah.
Everything,
So and I agree with that, Dustin. And I question, the teachers and stuff that are in the school districts. And part of me feels I feel bad for them, because I think they want to say stuff, but I also feel like they're either being threatened of losing their jobs. I mean, there's just so much corruption going on right now.
Or just being bullied themselves, because there's a lot of teacher bullies.
Right.
Yeah. But I've been encouraging people to get together, and the teachers that you have on your side, I mean, that's going to benefit everybody too. We get the
Right.
teachers that are on our side, we get together, we pull the kids out, we make our own schools until that we can straighten out the problem with the affidavits and the notices. We go after them, but pull your kids
Right.
out. I would pull
Yeah.
them out. I would not have.
Well,
Now I can't tell
hopefully-
my daughter to do that because she doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe what's going on is, she's getting there, but she's still got a ways to go. But
Sadly, that's a lot of people though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I told her the other day, because my 9-year-old granddaughter, the school called, and they had already closed school here for 12 days. So she was already out, but the school called after the fact and said, Olivia's been exposed to C-19 and she needs to be out for 3 days. Now that makes no sense. One does 3 days, one says 48 hours, another one said it's not science. And we know that.
Right.
And so
Right.
the school said that that the health department was going to call them. And I said, Janelle, don't tell them anything. I said, because they don't have the right to. I said, don't tell them nothing. I said, get it in your head that what they're doing is violating your rights, and tell them.
Absolutely.
You need to tell them. You need to stand your ground.
Well, hopefully our video right now will go viral and we can start getting people on board with us, and we'll have more people on the next Zoom.
Yep.
So,
Now, do we have one, Dusty, for like employment?
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
I gave it to I gave it to some of the nurses at that rally in Loudville.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And if we can't get it to you, it's on the Affidavit Mama's website. You scroll down and that's where we pulled it off, and we did it for New York State.
Just changed a little bit.
Right. So I mean, everything hit us so fast with the school boards and the nurses and it's impossible to sit down and write one for, and get them out the way we need to get them out. And it's just, I've been trying to tell everybody for months. And like I said,
This is why we've been trying to get everybody to help,
Right.
so.
Right.
Right.
something.
we
Well,
started out, Rosemary, with trying to get people to do, Dave and Josh had the one for the grand juries and the bar association, which Dave and I did. We sent them out. And, so, and then we were talking about the audit. Oops, you better watch out. Can't say that on there. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, trying to get people together. And I mean, we've got people looking at us like, what are you talking about? What's that gonna do? And what if it don't work? And what if this and what if that? And the thing is, if you don't try, if you don't
Right.
start,
Absolutely.
you're
Yep.
going nowhere.
Yep.
So either you're going to try it, call my bluff. Call my bluff. If I'm bluffing, then I've bluffed. But at least try, because
Yeah.
we have to do something.
Yes, we
But
do.
it is our duty. It is our duty to direct our officials.
Well,
So-
and that's the reason why we put all the affidavits on the website, was because you can pretty much take anything we've written and just change a few things here or there, add one or two things from your constitution, and you're
Right.
good to go. So
Yep.
you don't really have to doctor it or mess with it too awful much. You don't have to rewrite it. Some people are
Right.
choosing to write their own, and that's perfectly fine. We have no problem with it. If you want to sit down and take the time to write one out, go ahead.
Well, I had
Um,
started that until I saw your website.
I know.
I actually had one just about all written out, and I went to your website and it was pretty much the same thing as you guys did. So, I knew I was on the right track.
Yeah. And we
So-
just want to save people time, because we understand, we started
Yeah.
from the ground up, so we get it, we get how hard it is to get things started. And like I said, ask us questions, pick our brains, whatever, you think, but make it your own, because you're going to find maybe things work differently and better for you. But, we try to toss things out as to what we've learned. And I
Right.
know that we'll put more videos and stuff up too, but we actually did like 3 signings in a week. And so it was extremely hard between the signings, making the copies, getting them all addressed, getting them all together and everything. And so we've got 2 more, actually, one on Thursday and one on Saturday we're trying to set up. So we
Now-
haven't stopped by any means.
Now, Rosemary, I have a question. Now, to get the word out, would you recommend maybe the radio station, the local radio station? I try to stay away from the news because I just feel like the news is just all propaganda, and I just feel like they take things out and they try to like mess with it to make it like benefit them. And I said I don't want to try to get anything out that's gonna hurt our situation. I
Well-
want to.
Here's the thing though, even if it's negative, you're still getting out there. Remember that. It doesn't matter, because people are going to come back and they're going to ask, but we're going to get our videos out too. We're just going to keep doing it.
All right.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Every rally every rally we do, we should be videotaping. And Dave and I have the YouTube channel now. We can put it on there and spread and get everybody we need more subscriptions. We need people to subscribe. But this is a
Well, I
start.
feel like once we get these videos and stuff out, it'll be good. It'll be really good.
Yeah,
but
and
I'm
then
gonna
we also have CNY Informed.
Yeah.
They've got the presentation. I actually went and I used Dave Jose's video to show them and talk to them. So now Nicole has finally got the presentation. So all the leaders and the counties are all going to come together, and I see this is going to spread.
It is. And I'm excited to watch us all grow. I mean, this is going to be great. But I have to go cut hair. So it was nice meeting you,
Nice meeting
Rosemary.
Too.
Thank you
Just
for
let us
all of
know.
your information and your slides. You are absolutely wonderful, and I'm so thankful to meet you. And Nat, I will talk to you, and I will talk to you later, Dusty. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and just pause the recording.